I'm back with my second vlog. This time around, I'm looking to go more into depth about um, taking charge of our realities, and that's the title of this vlog. It's called "Taking Charge of Our Realities." And I just want to speak on my personal experience I because I know me, I know myself. Can't really speak to anyone else's situation besides my own, and I just hope and pray that by speaking on myself, that other people will be like, oh, that's something like I'm going through, so I can use what he's saying and help me transform or become a better person. So I'm just going to talk about myself. Like I said in my last video, I came to Annapolis Gardens when I was 9 years old, and the environment at that time was real hostile. You know, um, like we were scared to go check our mailboxes, um, stuff like that. It was, we weren't accustomed to to a hostile environment. Like the Fourth of July, guns shooting off in the air. We wasn't used to that. Um, we stuff like that. We just it was different for us. And I know for myself as I grew, it like became a big part of my reality. Cause I remember when we was young, like the kids who lived there already, they used to come and used to pick on us. They used to pick fights with us. We literally had to fight. Not like brawls and that, but we would have to defend ourselves, and we're young. I remember when there was this older kid, and I don't know, I forgot what I did. I don't know what I did, but I don't think I really did anything that was like very very bad. But I must have did something, and this older kid took my face and held it down in the sandbox, and my like this stuff never happened to me before. you know, it never happened. Here I am, 9, 10 years old, and I'm getting my face shoved in the sandbox. That's some stuff that you expect to see on a TV show. You know what I'm saying? But it happened. Now I remember when I was playing tag, and I was playing tag late at night. No, it wasn't late, probably like 8, 9. And my mom, she worked at Denny's, um, and we were playing tag. And then when I got caught, I didn't know it was a setup. I got caught, and then I got hung up on the fence. You know what I'm saying? And see, and once again, it was just hostile because I wasn't used to it. And it was just, and a lot of things just took place that I just became easily influenced by it because I didn't have reference to it beforehand. I didn't have a father figure to say, no, you don't do that. It became my reality, and it got to a point where it was either I had to learn to carry myself tough, and one thing growing up, that's the one thing that now I hate it because when I used to get in trouble, or people used to want to talk down, they be like, oh, you think you tough, or you think you tough, and now I look back on them like I wasn't trying to act tough. I literally had to be tough, or else the next person was going to come by and pick on me or my siblings. So I had to have some type of toughness to defend myself or my siblings. It's not like I was trying to act tough. I just knew that the environment that I was in, it required me to be tough. And now that just drives me nuts now, because I'm like, so many people say, oh, you think you're tough. Like, no, I don't think I'm tough. I know that I have to be this way in order to defend and protect myself and my family. Because if people see you as a pushover in that environment, then of course they're gonna push over you. You know, um, so and it's sad because, like I said, it becomes our reality. You know, um, Especially as a young age, I started cussing, started sagging my pants. I started hanging out late. And I would go to school, and like I would excel in school. All throughout elementary, middle school, high school. I mean, I excelled in school, but it's like when I got home, it was just the environment. Like I was in this class called Avid, and it helps prepare you for college. And that classroom setting, I was preparing because that was what the class required. I was preparing myself to go to college. So when I was in that classroom setting, that environment, I talked about going to college, what college I was going to apply to, writing the essays, getting ready to take my SATs and all that stuff. But when I got outside of that class, it was back to neighborhood stuff. Talking about who got into a fight, who got arrested, who home the police ran into, stuff like that. And it just becomes the reality. And for a long time, I thought that's how I was going to turn out. Thought I was just going to be another person caught up in that cycle, running from the police, getting locked up, or getting into trouble, throwing away his future because of where I lived. And it's just because I didn't have reference to something better, and I hate it. I really hate it when people used to tell me, there's so much more for you, Sean, or you're capable of these things, or there's a whole nother world. Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that I didn't have reference to any of those things. It's hard for me to try to grasp the concept or the content that you're telling me if I can't reference it. If I don't have someone stepping into my environment from a different environment that comes from a successful place, then I can't reference it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not here, if you weren't there, then it's nothing that I can do to try to deter me from the path that I was on. It's just as simple as that. And when I look back on it, I just become frustrated because I'm like, if I just had someone that positioned themselves in my environment, that showed me that this don't have to be my reality, it would have saved me a lot of trouble. It would have saved me a lot of trouble. And it's just amazing, because I see a lot of times where, like, for instance, um, two brothers get they grow up in low income areas, and then the older brother sells drugs, and he got this younger brother, he's trying to take care of his younger brother, he's trying to do right by him, and then the younger brother get caught up in that same cycle, and then the younger brother dies. Then the older brother says, well, you know, I wanted you to be better than me. I wanted you to, do better than me. But it's like if you wanted him, if we want our people who look up to us to do better, then we have to give them reference to better. We have to give them, we have to let them see that it's a different world than what they're living in. You know what I'm saying? If he wanted his brother to be better than him, then he should have tried to get out of that environment. He should have tried to get out of that environment. And this is just an example. He should have just tried to get out. And then his brother could have been like, oh, well, since my brother that I look up to got out of that environment and became successful, then I can do the same thing. But if they're both doing the same stuff, then it's nothing to reference. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be something to reference. And that's why I can't stand when people, they leave the hood and then they don't want to give back. They don't want to go back. It's almost like they're ashamed to go back. It's like you don't know how many people are just waiting for someone to come back and say, hey, I went through this same stuff. I lived here too. And I was under the same influence, the same influence as you were. But I made it out. And now I'm coming back to show you and to tell you that you can do the same thing. It's just crazy. It's just, and that's why I'm doing this vlog. I want people, that come from that same environment or who are struggling to escape that reality that's keeping them hindered to realize like we just need to we just need a reference. We just need to change our thinking. You know, look up people, 50 Cent. Look up Denzel Washington. Look up Will Smith. You know, look up people who escaped, you know, situations, you know, and hostile environments. Look at them, because, you know, we tend to believe that everybody who's rich and successful, they can't relate because they're like this intangible object that we can only see but we can't grasp. But once we begin to dig into their background and see like, oh, they came from worse situation than I came from, or they came from the same situation that I come from, then I can do the same thing. It's nothing magic about it. It's not like a snap and they became famous. They had to work. They had to change their thinking. They had to change their perspective. They had to change their reality. They had to take charge of it. You know, and that's what we all have to do at the end of the day. We have to take charge of our own realities. You know, we have to want to change. You know, just because so and so said that you never amount to anything and you feel like you're never going to amount to anything, just make reference to something else. You know, when you go to school, you see a teacher, you know, someone that you admire, just reference their life and see like they're smiling, they're happy. I want that. You know, do research. You know, don't become a victim. You know, just don't become a victim to your current reality. You know, try to switch it up. You know, try to change it and watch how it'll work out. You know, because like I said in my last video, everything that I went through when I was living in that environment, I always had my thinking. You know, when I struggled, my thinking always went to where I am now. I won't always be, you know, I always said to myself, I'm going to be something. I'm going to be somebody. I will not succumb to this. You know, and even though, yes, I was stagnant for a little bit, I was giving in to my current reality, my current situation. But, you know, if you're determined and if you got your mind made up that this won't be my story, then your body goes with your thinking. So whatever you're thinking, that's what your body is going to do. You know, so once I made up in my mind, like, if I want this so bad, I'm going to work hard to get it, and my body follows along. You know, so I really hope that y'all get something from this message. If y'all got any comments, concerns, you know, questions, feel free to comment on the video. Feel free to message me. I'm here just to tell my story. You know, like I said in my last video, if you want to click back and watch it, that's okay, so you can get caught up on everything. Just know that your current reality, whether you're struggling, living in a hostile environment, going through stuff, it doesn't have to be your story. It doesn't have to be the ending of your story. You can always change it. God gave me a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, fifth chance, sixth chance, and so on. And I'm sure He would do the same thing for you. So, thank you all for listening. I really hope that you all get something from this. God bless you all.